Hello guys, and welcome to another video of mine. This one is going to be me talking about my endless run strategy, and how I made 950 million orns in less than 24 hours, or less than a day. So we are gonna start off with my spells. I explained my gear in my last video, the bonuses from each, in the 63 million orns in 30 minutes video, and I actually beat that. I did about 77 million orns in 30 minutes, but I had to stop recording because I realized whenever I record, it's like I don't focus and I don't do as well as I should. I always die pre-floor 300 whenever I video or I don't focus. So the spells that I use and why. So I know you guys must have watched my endless video, so you need to watch that if you haven't, to understand the buffing process and why we use the buffs we use, because the spells have to do directly with that. So I use Earthen Alignment, and that is because Earth has the least resistance in the dungeons. So out of all 4 elements, if 100 monsters exist, maybe you could say 50 are resistant to fire, 50 are resistant to fucking lightning, 50 are resistant to water, but 30 are resistant to earth. So that's just an example. Obviously that is not the real statistic, but less are resistant to earth. And that is really good because one of the harder monsters in there is not resistant to earth, and if you are especially frozen guard, you can use something like iced earth, and that will just melt it away, like even when you don't have something like Defic channel. So the spells that I use mostly are Fey Tremor 5, and that's because I use, as I said, Earthen Alignment. That gives me 50% damage bonus for earth spells. I use Quake Storm because it's Quake, it's Earth and Storm Lightning, and that gives me 50% from the Earthen Alignment for the earth and 25% extra damage from the lightning because I am a Storm Force player. So that means my faction bonus also gives me the bonus. That is exactly what I was talking about just now when I explained the Nidhogg thing. So they would get their 25% from the ice plus the 50% additional bonus in damage from the earth alignment. So it would still benefit them immensely. I know that some persons try to use their factions alignment, and I think that is wrong. So that is one of the things I will say. Another thing I will say, I actually have some runs open. I might run through them right now unbuffed and as I go through, yeah, because I actually stopped. So I'll just go through slowly and you will see my pattern of killing this stuff. I'll use specifically what I use, but I do it in speed mode. So even if I tell you to go back to watch the Orn video where I'm trying to basically speedrun it, it won't be as clear as this. So this motherfucker, I would use Fey Spark, especially on the Berserks, and pray it fucking crits. Because I can't use my earth spells, so that's like half of my spells down the drain. And the other spells aren't so good. And then transference, I like transference, but in the higher floors, if that thing is Berserk, you definitely want 1, your faction bonus, and 2, for that motherfucker to crit. You need that crit in there. And then even sometimes it's not enough. These spells have a high M1 as well. And M1 is the damage piercing. M2 is the damage multiplier, I believe. I don't remember what M2 is, honestly. I'll have to double check that. and I'll give you guys an update on that. But M1 is what we're focused on here, because we already know that Expel does X damage. But if Expel cannot hit X target when I'm in like floor 250, and you know that endless floor scales as you go deeper and the monsters get a lot stronger, if I cannot pierce them, the run is over. So that is the most important thing you need to worry about here. You will learn your damage over time. So the M1 of spells is what you're worried about. So stuff like Ultima has really good M1. Stuff like the Omnimancy spells, that's Quake Storm, Iced Earth, Scorched Earth, have really good M1. Even Face Spark, the Sparks, they have decent M1 too. I haven't checked them recently, but I noticed that, as I said, they work on that wretched fucking the one before the Earth Warrior thing. So I would use, I'll keep going through. So I'd use that for that one, even if it was a Berserk. I'd use this for this, because sometimes you don't want that thing surviving because it can curse you. I'll use something like Drain 2 here, or if you have Terra Seal, you can use that. That has high M1 too. So, and by default, I kind of start speeding up. So in the later waves, you're gonna want to try to use your highest penetrating spell. I need to test if this freak is stunnable. Yes, he cannot be stunned, because I always wonder why I don't try to stun it, but that's why I said let me just test it. So this thing can't be stunned. So what I try to do, if it's like our late wave and he's Berserk, I would just fucking pop an Ultima. If you don't have Ultima, your faction spell is fine too. The Quake Storm is fine too. But if he has a lot of HP and you know that the Quake Storm damage can't get there, I would try for the crit. But it's going to be a tough one. He is a tough one. He's the one that actually ended the run that I did, the 63 Million Orns. And then, so as a Heretic, I don't know if I explained this to you guys before, but I'll explain it again. The lower your mana, the more your damage, and not your damage, your stats will scale. So your attack, your magic, your dexterity, your resistance, and your defense. Unfortunately, not your crit. That would be OP, but those things. So at this point, I can literally probably attack this thing, and if I crit, it's going to die. Because I have like double my stats, basically, almost like 98%, 99%. I would use a greater elixir here. If this was a far floor, I probably wouldn't. Well, if I'm on a floor like this and I have no mana, then it's gonna be difficult. But this thing is one of those really chill ones that they really like to buff. They really like to buff, and they really like to fuck around in there. So you just allow them to fuck around and you just pop your greater elixir here. I'm gonna try and see how much damage I do. Okay, 48,000. As I said, you pop your greater elixir here and you hope he doesn't do anything, and then Quake Storm is good here. So it's pretty much a matching game once you've gotten stuff down. Quake Storm again, because you know that guy is a little bitch. You can drain here because he has low HP and you want as much HP going into the next round as possible. This is not something you should be draining. So especially later, that's another Quake Storm. This is another Quake Storm. Especially later. So I'm going to use the exact stuff and not try to buff and not try to do stuff. So this is a Quake Storm too, but you're going to get some waves in between. So this one, there are a few options. You can use, for earlier waves, you can use stuff like Magic Dagger, Magic Sword, and they can crit. But as soon as this thing starts scaling, the M1 on those spells are literally non-existent, so they won't be able to kill it. And if they can't kill it, I mean not even kill it, I mean hit it, like do damage to it. And if you can't do damage to it, this goofy motherfucker right here is gonna put on some sigil like a batty boy and she's gonna do like fucking, he's gonna put on fire sigil, then she's gonna do fucking flame, and then you're gonna be dead. So what you're gonna try to do here is, you have two options. You can try to stun her and hope this inbred behind her doesn't do something, which you see he always finds the right thing. And then you can transference her, or you can lost seal her. I would try lost seal because I'm missing a bit of HP and it should be decent damage. And then I just go. If I am low HP and low ward, I might try to ward if I'm feeling frisky, but I think I might try to stun it, then drain it, then try to do transference. But that would only be if it doesn't have the pet. If it has the pet, you have to try to kill it as soon as possible. So that's why you try to use Lost Seal, or you can try to use Transference and hope you heal. Because the Lost Seal heal is not going to be a lot anyway. For this one, you would be using Quake Storm. My HP is getting a bit low, so I'm praying. So this is a noob one. I would use Drain here. This is also a noob, but this guy can curse. And if you get cursed, you are fucked. Your passive is fucked. This is a dangerous one. I'm hoping it will be gone soon. But this is actually really good if you're doing distance endless, because these new mobs are kind of noobs. This one in particular is the hardest one, because let's see if he actually does it. You will be attacking his minions a lot. Like one time he did like 7 minion blocks, like fucking 7. Luckily he wasn't hitting, and I'm not sure what it is, but the minions were not hitting as much as I thought they would when it was Berserk. So I'm not sure if I was just really tanky, if it was an early wave or what. So that's another Quake Storm. This one is a Drain. So I'll just say the name of the stuff. This one is a Quake Storm for sure. Oh god. Just seeing so this is unbuffed, like no type of XP bonus. So at the very least I could be getting 160k XP here if I had on like something like Dowsing Rod, which I probably should have on. This video is getting kind of long, so I hope you guys took the principle of what I was trying to say, and don't ever use fucking Forbid in this thing. Like, Jesus Christ, it's so bad. Like, it is so inconsistent. I'm kidding. Maybe you can try it, but Lord knows it is inconsistent. I just rather risk it with stunned. And if they can't be stunned, maybe then you can try Forbid on some of the later waves. If you know for a fact that you need a little respite, you can try Forbid. But other than that, I would say Forbid is forbidden. Don't be fucking using that shit. I'm gonna try some runs with it, honestly. I'm gonna try some runs with it. And then get back to you guys about it. But that's pretty much how I do Endless. I've never used Sleep Dart before. I don't even remember it was in there, but I'm actually going to look into it, because I would imagine that a few things are... Oh, this can't be put to sleep. I would assume a few things are sleepable. Apparently the Hydra isn't, but the Hydra can be stunned. So certain Berserk ones, you can stun them if you feel like you might need, because they have a bit of dexterity too. So this is one thing that can be stunned, but I don't recommend it. You just try to kill it. But Immortal Lords, you just know your run is ending when you start to see them often, because it's about to end soon. I think I've gone through... I think I kind of went off on a tangent, but I think for the most part I gave the core principles of how I do Endless with the decision making. That is the most important thing. And unlike some persons, I'm always running shrines, so I'm not going to be in and out trying to switch gear and all of that. If you only have one questing staff, this is what I leave you with. You should be using an Arisen Wolven Shield or the Ornate Emir Coiled Shield, but this one is probably not going to come back as soon as this one might, or maybe persons have Kerberos, but this one is really good if you only have one staff. This one is extremely good, and this one keeps you so tanky. Anyway guys, thank you guys for watching, and take care of yourselves.